Imagine waking up and the world's news is waiting for you, hand-picked and distilled. That's today's promise. Welcome to the show, your concise global news digest for Sunday, the 22nd of March, 2026. I'm your host, and over the next few minutes, you'll hear the most important international headlines, get context on major crises, and walk away prepared to join any water cooler chat. We'll cover geopolitics, science, economics, and even cultural milestones. But let's start with a question. How do you stay ahead in a world that never sleeps? If you're thinking just scrolling social media, let me show you how a single broadcast, packed with terms like geopolitical realignment, think tectonic plates shifting beneath countries, and inflationary spiral picture prices, like a runaway train, can bring you up to speed fast. Here's your roadmap. We'll start with major political shifts, move through economic updates, hit science and tech breakthroughs, and finish with culture and climate. Ready? Let's dive in. First up, maritime tensions. Early this morning, a Chinese and Philippine Coast Guard vessel collided in the disputed South China Sea, reigniting fears of regional escalation. Now, you might be wondering, is this just another routine standoff? This time, satellite imagery, think of it as Google Maps for diplomats, confirms both ships sustained damage. Automatic Identification System data, or AIS, sort of like a ship's GPS, shows aggressive maneuvering by both sides. The Philippines has called for an emergency ASEAN meeting. Will this incident spark a wider confrontation, or is it saber-rattling as usual? Stay tuned as diplomatic lines heat up. Switching gears to the global economy, stock markets from Tokyo to London saw sharp drops this Sunday after the U.S. Federal Reserve announced a surprise 0.5% interest rate hike late Saturday. Why such a big fuss, you might ask? Interest rates act like the thermostat for economic activity. Turn it up, and things cool down fast. Bond yields, a bit like the price tag for borrowing money, spiked overnight. Analysts warn of an interest rate shock, comparing it to an unexpected ice bath for investors. Will central banks in Europe and Asia follow suit or hold steady? The answer could shape your next loan or mortgage payment. Let's turn to Europe, where the EU just unveiled its most ambitious Green Deal yet. Effective immediately, the bloc is aiming for 90% renewable energy by 2040. Now, you might hear terms like grid decarbonization. Imagine cleaning your house. But it's the entire power network and carbon credits, which are like hall passes for polluters. Critics fear the plan could spike electricity prices. Supporters argue it's the only way to beat back climate change. The real test? Whether industry giants and voters embrace the transition or push back against faster timelines. Stateside, the presidential primaries have thrown up a few surprises. Former Vice President Elaine Cortez clinched key Super Sunday victories, while her rival, Governor David Shaw, saw setbacks in crucial swing states. Ever heard the term delegate math? Picture it as piecing together a puzzle, with each state offering different-sized pieces. Party leaders are watching the momentum index. Think of it as a political weather vane to see who's building steam. The next debate could be a turning point, with policy clashes expected on healthcare and immigration. Over in the Middle East, a fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has held for 48 hours, despite sporadic rocket fire in the outskirts of Gaza. Military officials refer to this as a kinetic pause, like hitting the pause button during a storm, and humanitarian corridors have finally opened. But, as one aid worker told me, how long before the next round? The world watches closely, waiting to see if this truce turns into lasting peace or if old wounds reopen. In Africa, Lagos has leapfrogged expectations by rolling out the continent's first 6G pilot network. If 5G is a highway, 6G is a maglev train, blazingly fast and frictionless. The trial, powered by a consortium of local startups and international firms, promises quantum encryption. Think Fort Knox for your data. Some skeptics worry about digital divides, but local entrepreneurs are already dreaming big, from telemedicine apps to smart grid controls. Could this be the dawn of a new digital era for Africa? The world is watching. Down in Latin America, a historic drought is gripping Brazil and Argentina, slashing crop yields and raising alarms about food security. Hydrologists, think of them as water detectives, are tracking soil moisture and river flow data. revealing patterns linked to a mega El Niño, the climate's wild card. Agricultural economists warn that grain exports could drop by 20%, driving up global food prices. Local farmers, caught between hope and despair, are demanding government aid. Could this spell the next big shock for global supply chains? Let's shoot for the stars. India's Mars Orbiter 2 just transmitted the clearest images yet of the red planet's polar ice caps. This mission, powered by a new generation of ion thrusters, imagine a slow but infinitely patient wind pushing a sailboat, marks a giant leap for ISRO. The term payload integration is buzzing. Think of it like fitting a puzzle together, but you're sending it across millions of kilometers. National pride is soaring, and officials say a Mars rover could launch within 2 years. The space race is officially back on. Back on Earth, the Arctic is once again in the spotlight after scientists confirmed the lowest March sea ice extent on record. Satellite altimetry, basically, laser rulers from space, shows rapid thinning across key regions. Climatologists call this a feedback loop. Imagine a snowball rolling downhill, getting faster and bigger. The loss threatens polar wildlife and coastal cities alike. Environmentalists warn that without urgent emissions cuts, we could cross a point of no return far sooner than predicted. In technology, lawmakers from the US, EU, and China are meeting this weekend to hash out global AI guidelines. Terms like algorithmic transparency, think showing your math homework, and model bias, like a referee favoring one team, are center stage. With new AI tools outpacing legislation, many fear a regulatory patchwork. Industry leaders want clarity, while privacy advocates demand firmer rules. The outcome could define how AI shapes everything from job markets to personal privacy. Culture lovers, take note. The 2026 World Film Awards were just announced last night in Paris. The Best Picture went to Ocean's Edge, a sweeping climate drama shot on 4 continents. Critics rave about its use of volumetric capture. Imagine holograms stepping off the screen, and sound spatialization, which places you in the heart of every scene. This year, the awards also spotlighted more international directors, reflecting cinema's truly global reach. Is this the new golden age of storytelling? Sports fans, here's your update. The football world is buzzing after underdog Morocco clinched a dramatic win over Germany in a pre-Olympics friendly. Meanwhile, Olympic organizers in Los Angeles just unveiled a new smart stadium. Imagine a venue where your seat recognizes you and customizes your experience. The term biometric ticketing, think fingerprint as entry pass, and augmented reality replays are now official features. Will technology reshape how we watch and play the world's games? Let's wrap up. Today, we saw how one maritime misstep can rattle Asia, why a surprise interest rate hike sends shockwaves worldwide, and how the melting Arctic ice is a warning bell for us all. Now, what's the one thing you can do? Stay informed, but go deeper. Pick one headline and read the full report, not just the summary. Next time, we'll uncover the inside story of the new AI treaty. Will it protect or restrict us? Don't miss it. If this snapshot helped you see the world more clearly, share the episode and subscribe for your next global briefing. Until then, stay curious and stay connected.